It's November 13th, 2021, and Pascal and I are here in Paris with three of our students who are currently living in Paris. This is Jaelah Thomas, who graduated from Wright State with a degree in French and Business in May 2020 and is currently working in France for the French government. Can you tell us a little bit about your life in Paris, Jaelah?
I got to France through the TAPIF program, which is a teaching assistantship program in France, where we come and we can teach in either a high school, a middle school, or an elementary school. No, last year I was in Limoges, which is 3 hours from Paris and above Bordeaux. Yes, this year I'm in the city of Paris, in the 20e. I teach high school students, but I also do classes called BTS, and it's students who have already graduated, but they're preparing for another diploma, another certificate.
Jaelah, can you tell us about how you applied for the program and what the process was?
I'm here in the TAPIF program, which is Teaching Assistantship Program in France. You send in your dossier, and you have to have 2 letters of recommendation, and you write your own personal letter of why you want to do this. And then you can choose up to 3 academies of where you would like to be placed. And you can also choose whether you want to be in a high school, an elementary school, or a middle school. High school, middle school are the same category. And then from there, they send you an acceptance letter. You'll more than likely get it. And they tell you where you'll be and what grade you'll be teaching. And then from there, they kind of, depending on your academy, they help you to know where you'll be. Sometimes they help you find housing. So sometimes you'll get an apartment and you'll probably have roommates, or sometimes you're just in a room by yourself.
Here we are with Jasmine Higgins, who graduated from Wright State with a degree in French and Mass Communications in May 2015. She is also in her 2nd year of teaching English in France. Can you tell us a little bit about your life in France, Jasmine?
Right, it's not my first time here. I did this program in 2017. I was in the Académie de Reims, and I loved it.
Excellent. So you had to come back.
Yes, I absolutely had to come back. I love France. Right now I'm in the Académie de Créteil, and I live in the 19th arrondissement in Paris.
So how's life in Paris?
I love it. It's so great. It's a dream come true, honestly. I never really thought I'd be able to actually make it here, but here I am.
This is Lilith Holloway, who is currently a student at Wright State, majoring in French and international politics. Can you tell us a bit about what brought you to France, Lilith?
I am studying abroad. I'm studying the French language, and I also have French family, so I'm here to visit them as well, and I live with them to help better learn the French language.
Excellent. How long are you here for?
5 months.
And how do you like it?
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's everything that I ever dreamed and more. I've dreamed of living in France, and specifically in Paris, since I was little, and now my dreams are literally coming true.
Fantastic. Jaelah, what are some of the advantages of being in Paris?
Some of the advantages would be learning a new culture and being able to improve my French. And you just meet a lot of new people from all over the world, and you create lifelong friendships, and it's just amazing. The food is good. It's definitely not as hefty as what we eat in America, so it's a lot lighter and you feel better. Probably a lot healthier for you.
Excellent. Do you have health care with your job?
I do. So everybody, if you come here, everybody will get Social Security, and you'll be able to get reimbursed a percentage from the doctor.
So going to the doctor does not cost you very much money?
Not very much, no.
Excellent. Do you find it's good health care?
I find it's good health care, yeah. You can do almost anything, break an arm, and it won't be nearly as much as if you break your arm in the U.S.
Jasmine, can you tell me about some of the advantages of living and working in Paris?
So as much as I love Paris, one of the biggest advantages is being able to travel around Europe. So as Paris is the capital of France, you can take a flight from Paris and go anywhere. Flights are pretty cheap, and you can take a bus or the train to get to the rest of Europe. So that's my favorite part about living here.
What do you think about the French healthcare system?
It's great because your healthcare isn't really tied to your job as it is in America, and the cost of healthcare here is a lot cheaper than in the States as well. I just had a French friend tell me the other day she had a surgery and she only had to pay €7. So that's something you don't really get back in the States.
Lilith, what are some of the advantages to living and studying in France?
I really love the facility of getting around. That's more specifically in Paris, but also the food, incredible. Literally, I probably eat a baguette every single day, and no joke. I also love the French culture. So that's one of my favorite things. I love to take a coffee just in the middle of the day with my friends from school and study in a cafe for many hours. Also, there's history all around. Everywhere you look, there's a story. There's a story about something or some king or some grand political man. It's wonderful. You learn things every single day.
Can you tell me what is the funniest or most interesting thing that's happened to you since you've been living and studying and working in France?
Okay, so Jaelah and I went on vacation in Amsterdam, and we don't speak Dutch, and the national languages in the Netherlands are Dutch and Dutch. And so we went to a restaurant called Restaurant du Morgue, and the guy greeted us, and he was like, "Hi, how can I help you?" All in Dutch, and we were like, "Ooh, this is gonna be hard." And then he started speaking to us in Arabic, and we were like, "Oh no!" And so he took us to our table, and he was looking at us, and we were looking at him, and it was kind of crazy. We kind of looked at each other, and we were like, "Oh my God, how are we gonna figure out this menu?" He walks away, and he starts taking the people's order next to us at the next table, and then all of a sudden we're listening, and he goes, "Ah, les toilettes sont à gauche et en bas." And we looked at each other, and our faces lit up, and we were like, "Oh my God, Monsieur, on parle français?" He looked at us, and his face lit up, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's been a long time since I spoke French, but they speak French and because they learned French in school." And so he came over to us, and he explained us the whole menu, and it was amazing. But because we learned French, we could communicate. It wasn't English because he didn't speak any English, and we obviously didn't speak Dutch or Arabic, so we were at a loss. But French was our key connector.
So the first time I came to France, I was asking for a receipt, for the bill, and I kept asking for the recette, and recette in French means recipe. So everywhere I was going, I kept asking everyone for the recipe instead of ticket, which is the receipt.
The last time I was an assistant in France, I worked in the Académie de Créteil, and I was with collegians. And a kid in my cesium class, when I was introducing myself to the class, I said, "Hi, I'm Jasmine, I'm from Ohio," and I just told them other things about myself. And then a couple weeks went by, and then one of the kids asked me, "No, mais Jasmine, do you go back to Ohio tonight?" And I was like, "No, I live here." And he said, "But you don't fly back home every day?" I'm like, "No, it takes 8 hours to get to Paris from Ohio. I couldn't do that every day." And he didn't even realize that America was that far away from France. And so it was really funny.
Wright State à Paris!
Okay.
Vive la France!
Don't let these opportunities pass you by. We encourage you to teach or study abroad. If you're interested in working for the French government, teaching English in France, then you should apply to the TAPIF program before January 15th, which is their deadline. The web address is frenchculture.org/TAPIF. All of the information we showed in the film came from that website. You can also visit our friends at the UCIE, the University Center for International Studies in East 190 Student Union on Wright State's campus. And here you can find out about the many different short-term and long-term study abroad programs they have. One will definitely fit your bill. And you can visit their website to see more, to learn more about the study abroad opportunities. It is studyabroad.wright.edu. And for any information that you want on French programs, please send us a message so we can talk to you and give you more information about them. You can write to kirsten.halling@wright.edu or pascal.abadi@wright.edu. Vive la France!